I went from teaching English in Japan to DJing on the main stage at the biggest EDM festival in the country, Ultra Japan. Sounds crazy, right? Let me tell you how it happened. Back in the early 2000s when I was a university student, I was producing trance music, DJing a little bit in Seattle, and my dream was to move to Tokyo and become a trance superstar. The reason for this was because in Tokyo during the early 2000s, trance music was huge. They had enormous nightclubs, a huge trance music scene, and it was something I really wanted to be part of. So as soon as I graduated university, I moved to Tokyo. So the only way I could get a visa to work in Japan was to become an English teacher. I was teaching at an Eikaiwa English conversational school. The job wasn't great. If you want me to talk more about that, I can make another video about that. But it was just really a means for me to be able to pay the bills and go out into Tokyo and check out the trance scene and try to be part of that scene as much as possible. I lived in a small, very tiny Leo Palace apartment, and within that apartment I was making lots of trance music, just producing as much as I possibly could. I was getting noise complaints from the neighbors. It was crazy, but I was just trying to do whatever I could to be a part of that trance music scene in Tokyo. On the weekends I would go to all the different clubs and try to connect with the local DJs, and it was really hard. Most nightclubs were not very interested in a foreigner DJ playing at their clubs, but I kept at it, kept grinding, and I went out every single weekend with my business card and burned CDs of my DJ mixes. I was grinding at this every single weekend, and I eventually was able to start getting gigs in Tokyo, playing really small clubs, bars, to very small crowds. But during this process, I kept networking, kept releasing music, and I was able to grow my network within the trance music scene, and at the time, also electro house music scene in Tokyo. Slowly but surely, my music started to get some success. I started to rank up in the charts, and I was able to land some resident gigs in Tokyo. Some of the big moments for me were when some of the biggest DJs in the world like Tiesto started supporting my music, and that really opened the door for me. I was able to start DJing around Asia, including China, South Korea, India, all over Asia, and it was a very big moment for me because I was able to see what the scenes were like in different parts of Asia. And about 10 years ago, Ultra finally comes to Japan, and it was a big moment. I've been to Ultra in Miami, and it was awesome. I saw Swedish House Mafia, Deadmau5, all those big legends, and even Avicii when he started doing his folk EDM style of music and everyone was booing. It was a crazy moment. But Ultra has finally come to Japan, and it was a big moment. I remember that weekend vividly. It was really great. And for the next 8 or so years, I would go every year, really hoping that one day I would be able to play one of these stages, because I knew I was doing pretty well musically, and I was playing a lot of gigs around Asia and in Japan. I was playing all the time, but it was just very difficult to be able to play at Ultra. It was just one of those things where it was very difficult to get a booking at this festival. And about 2 years ago, finally, Ultra Japan hits me up asking me to DJ their park stage. I got to do that 2 years in a row, and it was really awesome. In 2024, I got to close the park stage, and I was kind of worried because I was going against Armin van Buuren on the main stage, but this was actually awesome. Everybody came out. It was such a vibe, and the fireworks from Armin van Buuren's stage was also very visible on my stage as well, so it was just an awesome way to end the weekend. And if you want to see it for yourself, check my YouTube channel because I got a whole video on that. Fast forward to now, and Ultra Japan has asked me to play on the main stage. This is a big deal. This is a big deal for local foreign DJs living in Japan who've wanted to play these bigger stages. It's always very difficult for local foreigners to play at nightclubs in general. It really requires a lot of hustling. For me to be able to do it really shows that if you continue to hustle, you can make it happen. You can make this dream happen. And that's why this is such a big deal for me. I mean, if you would have told me 15 years ago when I was teaching English at an Eikaiwa that I would DJ at the biggest EDM festival in Japan, I would have laughed in your face. So if you're looking to come to Japan or go to anywhere around Asia and you have a certain dream you're trying to achieve, let me be an example. You can make it happen. It just sometimes takes a lot of time and a lot of hard work. But I've been able to do it. And whatever you're trying to accomplish, whether it's in music, art, or in your career, anything is truly possible. So anyways, catch me at Ultra Japan September 14th on the main stage. It's gonna be huge. Buy your tickets before they sell out, and I hope to see you there. If this video was interesting to you, be sure to give it a like. You got any questions about Ultra Japan, drop it in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe. It really helps my channel grow. I'm dropping Tokyo nightlife, Japan nightlife, and Asia nightlife content every single week. V is out.